Yo, what's up, YouTube? So, today we will be going over our trade recap from Tuesday, May 27th, where I passed 4 XFAs and got back to max allocation. Um, if you aren't already in my Discord, join the Discord. I do live streams in there and some analysis as well. Tuesday through Friday, we do live streams. And yeah, so I took the first trade in the live stream. Passed these XFAs right, or these evals right here. First trade was took on the live stream, lost. Second trade was also took on the live stream, we won. Third trade was taken off stream to pass the evals. So let's break down these trades. Now, going into Tuesday, we see that we are delivering off of this daily gap right here. And I can't show you because can't go on replay mode on both pairs, but there is an SMT between ES and NQ. So NQ took out this low, and ES failed out to take this low. That's basically what happened. So we have a bullish SMT right here, and going into the 4 hour, going into the day, we have this 4 hour gap right here that price tapped into, and we delivered off of it. So now our draw on liquidity is not going to be this high right here, these relative equal highs, because it is around 200 points away. So we drop down to the hourly and see we have these three big hourly gaps right here, and looks like we are rejecting off of this one. So right here is London high, right, midnight or 3 a.m. Eastern time. London high right here, and just looking at the indicator to make it easier, marks out all the session highs and lows. So we have London low right here, and then Asia low right here. So let's fast forward to market open and see how market open plays out. Okay, not there yet. Almost there. Okay, cool. So 6:30 or 9:30 opens bearish, and right now we are looking for this low to get taken, and basically we just want these fair value gaps to hold, right? But what we got is more displacement lower, and London lows ended up getting taken out, right? So I made a rookie mistake here on my first trade that ended up being a loss. So this 5 minute gap ended up opening up, and we get a retrace into this 5 minute gap right here, right? We tap this 5 minute gap, and we get a rejection off of it, and we inverse this 1 minute gap with pretty strong displacement. Now, in the moment, I failed to check the higher time frame. I did my analysis on the higher time frame like way before market open, right? But in this moment, I didn't check the hourly and didn't see that we had, three big ass bullish gaps that were holding us up, and it would make no sense for price to go lower and to take out these Asia lows. But in this moment, I was really caught up with the lower time frame. This ended up being a pattern trade. I took this and I was targeting Asia lows, so like around 78 points, and this ended up losing, right? We ended up losing the trade. So the thing with evals is that I like to go more risky with them because my actual setups appear like 1 to 3 times a week on average, and I can't wait that long on evals. I'll just be wasting time, and I won't be able to trade my XFAs and get a payout. So I trade a little bit more risk on evals, and I take a little bit more setups to get them passed within like less than a week. And this is just one of those trades that I would take on an eval and not on an XFA. But even taking this trade on an eval was pretty cooked considering the higher time frame was bullish, and I'm literally going against the trend by taking this trade because I'm too fixated on the lower time frame. So I went with 3 contracts, risk like $1,600, something like that. Put above the swing high right here. Obviously, we get stopped out like immediately, right? And price continues higher. So we get a 5-minute inverse right here, rejecting off of London lows. Now, per my model, what I'm looking for is just a continuation higher, right? Retrace to London highs, the initial draw on liquidity. So we didn't end up getting a big retrace, but we got some sort of tiny retrace that I was able to scalp off of. So we end up continuing higher, 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 higher. Now I'm looking at the 2-minute. So this 2-minute ends up opening up right here. Right, so we get this 2-minute gap, and after taking out all of this low resistance liquidity right here, all of this is low resistance liquidity. So what I'm looking for is just a retrace into this 2-minute gap and just a wick rejection off of it, and I'll take a scalp to these London highs. So if we play out price, we end up tapping this 2-minute gap, right? And then we end up displacing and taking out London highs. So I literally take my entry like somewhere in between this wick right here. My stop will be below the wick that tapped the 2-minute gap. And I went in pretty heavy, sized in with like 10 contracts on this. Risked around like 1.4K on this trade to make like 1.8K. So making back the loss from this trade earlier. And yeah, so that puts me at around like up $100 or $150, $200 for the day. Now, I can't show you ES on replay mode because I'm in NQ replay mode right now. But what I wanted to say is that NQ takes out London highs, and it is the more bullish index compared to ES. So ES is lagging at this point, and it didn't take out London highs. But what I usually like to do, or what I like to see, is if one pair takes out like a prominent high or low, and the other pair doesn't, if the pair that takes out the prominent high or low, if it continues higher like this, right, you see that NQ just keeps continuing higher, the other pair will most likely follow. So we don't get an automatic rejection off of taking London high. We end up, like slowly going higher, right? We end up slowly going higher and higher and higher, and ES keeps following. So ES follows NQ. Now I'll exit replay mode for NQ and go to ES. Let me go a little bit back and show you the trade that I took on ES. So I literally like never trade ES, bro. Like the last time that I traded ES was probably like when I first started trading. ES just moves so terribly, but at this point I had these set of evals for like a week and a half. There was literally no setups for me to take last week, even on an eval. That's how like bad price was moving for like my sort of trading style. But we did end up getting some sort of entry on ES, so 2 London highs. So let's go into it right here. So we ended up opening a 5-minute gap, right? This little 5-minute gap right here. Was looking for a tap into it and a rejection off of it, which we get right here. So we tap this 5-minute gap right here, and on the 1-minute we have this fair value gap right here. So we're just looking for a displacing close, and we'll take our entry. So this is our displacing close. Ended up taking my entry right here. Stop below the wick, targeting London highs. Okay, now normally, my bad. On a normal trade, I would go break even at the internal highs, right? But at this point, bro, I'm so fed up with the evals that it's either hit or miss. Either my stop gets hit or my TP gets hit. So I took the trade right here, and we take out internal highs, displace above, and we're so close to taking the target, but we end up chopping around because ES is literally usually always terrible, bro. I swear. That's why I never trade ES. But TP ends up playing out right here. Finally ends up playing out. I literally placed this trade and I went back to sleep, bro. So this is the trade that ended up passing my evals. Yeah, that's basically it. That's how I passed 4 XFAs. Yeah, not really much to break down for this trade. It's literally just a continuation play. We tap into a 5-minute, get a nice rejection higher, 1-minute inverse, displacing inverse. Normally on an XFA, you go break even here, but it's really, I'm just trying to pass these evals as fast as I can, and I've had them for too long, so decided not to go break even here, decided to trust my analysis, and yes, it did end up playing out. And the reason why I was so convicted in this trade is because NQ was not rejecting off of London highs, right? We just ended up going higher. Usually, if like I said earlier, if one pair rejects off of it, right, we take this high and then we just go lower. ES would have done the same thing, and I wouldn't have tried to take a trade to London highs on ES. But yeah, that was basically the trade recap for yesterday. If you guys have any questions, drop it in the comments below, and make sure to join the Discord for free analysis, free live streams, free trades, or free live streams. I'm also planning to start a little YouTube series like next week, scaling from 1 XFA to 5 XFAs and just getting a max payout on that, on all 5 XFAs. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be posting that on YouTube. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the trade recap and learned something from it. I'll see you guys next video.